Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Coach Sark, the Texas Longhorns, landing another, what I think is a massive commitment in the 2025 class. Four-star cornerback Grayson Littleton was committed to Clemson, decommits from Clemson. It kind of came down to Michigan and Texas. Texas gets it done. Now, many of y'all know I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm a little bit salty about this one. But I'll say this, I think Texas is getting a really fascinating cornerback, and I think it just starts with the physical traits. You talk about 6 foot plus, sub 11 in the 100-meter dash. That's kind of what you're looking for in terms of the physical traits. But when you turn on the film with a guy like Grayson Littleton, the first thing that pops to your mind is this kid's a technician. He just knows how to play that cornerback position at an extremely high level, which is kind of rare when you're talking about cornerbacks who are top 100 national prospects. Most cornerbacks making the jump to high school to college, a lot of those guys are just kind of freaky athletes that are not necessarily the best cornerbacks yet. I think Grayson Littleton, one, is plenty good as an athlete, 6 foot, sub 11 in the 100-meter dash. But I think more importantly, really, really comfortable out there on an island. A lot of press man on his film, which we'll get into. I think this is a really good get for Texas. And I think just as importantly, Texas only had one cornerback committed in the 2025 cycle. They wanted to add another. This is a really nice late addition to Texas's class in 2025. Going to get in a little to the film now. Before we do, as always, just want to say thank you to you guys in it. Many of you all know I got a blast talking. I have a blast, I should say, talking the recruiting trail. All the support y'all continue to show means the world. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this one now. I kind of know a lot about Grayson Littleton because as a Michigan fan, when he decommitted from Clemson, like the first word was he's taking a visit to Michigan. I thought that was good news for Michigan, but we knew that Texas visit was coming the next weekend. Obviously, Texas did something right there because they end up landing Grayson Littleton. Now you get into the film, that's kind of what you like getting into. Now, I think the first thing you see, a ton of press man, and they don't put a lot of safeties over the top. I mean, you look at this right here, we're putting the safety to the field side. We're just leaving Grayson Littleton on the boundary, pretty much on an island. Press man, really, really comfortable doing so. Two things I like. One, he's not necessarily the biggest and physically imposing cornerback, but he knows how to use his hands really well. Really good hand placement, really good staying in phase with wide receivers. Then I think most importantly, and this is something that you don't see from a lot of these kids at the high school ranks. Hey, we're good off the line of scrimmage, back hit pocket. Hey, when that football's in the air, let's get our head around and go make a play on the football. Like, how many times do we see young cornerbacks just fail to do some of those small things the right way? Gets done in special teams, which I wouldn't say is surprising. Now, I'd be surprised if he contributes as a returner for Texas, but he certainly can do it. Getting a little feel for the athleticism, which again is the number one thing you're talking about when you're recruiting cornerbacks. Has that long speed, has that change of direction. Once again, press man, like they love to do press man. Very limited times you see a safety over the top. Get your head around, play the football. I think that Grayson Littleton does a lot of the small stuff right at the cornerback position. That's what's so impressive. He's really good playing that press man look, consistently gets his head around. You can tell the short area quick's really good. And again, he's only going to let wide receivers run as fast as he's going to let them. Again, get a little special teams in there. I think he could be, a special teamer for Texas, but I look at all the just raw talent and guys that are just elite with the football in their hands that Texas has. And say I'd be surprised if he contributes in punt and kick returns, but I think he certainly could. I mean, once again, exclusive press man, battling, really, really good with his hands. You see the change of direction, staying in phase, back hip pocket, knows how much contact he can get away with, which is another thing you see young cornerbacks struggle with. I love everything about his film, maybe outside of the ball skills in terms of getting your hands on football, as there are some opportunities where I think he can take the football away where he doesn't. That's just me being nitpicky because this kid checks a lot of boxes in terms of what you're looking for coming up. This is the one where he's hawking down. And you see the long speed here, and you see the 10-9 in the 100-meter dash. And you love to see this on the high school film, like guys just making the plays that need to be made. It's not flashy, but hustle plays. Again, knowing how to use his hands, squeezing that wide receiver to the boundary. You never see wide receivers creating separation with this kid. But what I love most is that a lot of cornerbacks, you kind of have to exclusively play zone with them because you don't think they can hold up in man coverage. Grayson Littleton, not one of those guys. That whole film was just press man. And I think for a Texas Longhorn fan that wants to have an aggressive defense, so we all know Texas wants to bring pressure on the quarterback, having cornerbacks that can operate in man coverage on an island, it's really important. Grayson Littleton can do it. Taking a look at Texas's class in 2025, I don't think they're quite done. You like the class, right? Your top 6 class in the country, obviously kind of headlined by Khalil Lockett, Jonah Williams, Jamie French. I would keep my eyes on a Michael Fasusi. You look at offensive line development. That's kind of a Texas-Oklahoma battle right now. If you're Michael Fasusi, 5-star offensive tackle, where you are thinking, where can I go to get developed to a NFL football player? What is Oklahoma doing on the offensive line right now? Not much. What is Texas doing on the offensive line in terms of recruiting guys and developing guys? I don't think it gets much better. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas can get that one done late on. And we see Coach Sark get active late. So we'll see how it plays out. Wanted to hop on, talk a little bit about Grayson Littleton. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.